Welcome to another episode of Business Perfect Formula, where we dive into the journeys of those who dare to lead and innovate. Today, we're joined by a fascinating guest, DJ Brown, the founder of the thriving Discord community Stock Dads. DJ's story is not just inspiring, it's a testament to the entrepreneurial spirit. DJ built Stock Dads into an empire, despite having very little knowledge about stock trading. His journey challenges the conventional wisdom that you need to be an expert from the start to succeed. Instead, DJ shows us that passion, learning, and community building can be just as powerful. This is why I admire DJ and feel his being on this episode today can inspire so many that are stuck thinking that they need to be an expert in order to be a successful entrepreneur. In this episode, we're going to explore how DJ navigated the complexities of building a community, the lessons he learned about leadership, and how he empowered others to grow and succeed. So whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting out, DJ's insights will inspire you to think differently about expertise and how you can leverage your unique strengths to build something remarkable. So sit back, tune in, and get ready to be inspired as we uncover the secrets to turning curiosity into success with DJ Brown.
Oh, you're going to make me cry. And I can't wait to disappoint everybody because you hyped me way up too much.
Everybody always says that. That is how I see you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Very kind words.
Thank you for joining me. I've watched you from afar, and now I'm excited to finally dive in and peel the covers back.
Yeah, I'm here.
You're here.
I'm here. We'll share what we can, and I will try and live up to these, tremendous expectations you just set for everybody.
No.
No, I'm just messing up.
You are an inspiration.
Thank you.
And I know I say it a lot, so today I want to really dive into it. And I want to hear, because I know we haven't really talked about it, but what inspired you to start Stock Dads? I mean, did you just wake up one day and say, I want to start a Discord community, or how did this start?
Yeah, no, not at all. This kind of all came out of really nowhere. So I kind of just started looking how to trade. I wanted to learn how to trade myself. This was back in 2020, and, we just had COVID hit, everybody's locked in their houses and the stock market's crashing. So I'm like, man, if there's a better time to learn how to get into the stock market, I don't know what it's going to be. I need to learn how to do this stuff now. Traditional education, and my parents didn't really ever kind of teach me this kind of stuff because they really didn't learn it themselves. So just kind of a huge gap in financial literacy, I guess within my immediate family. So I wanted to learn how to do it. So I kind of started looking for some, resources, and kind of coming up empty, finding stuff. I mean, there was stuff out there, but I'm a dad. So I'm very risk averse, and I was provider for the family. I got to make sure I don't do anything dumb. I'm not too risky, can't, whatever. And a lot of the resources that I was finding were, the types of marketing where you're seeing the Lamborghinis and the Rolexes, and they're okay, yeah, this is, the lifestyle, this is easy, whatever. And I was I just was really skeptical. And some of them may be great, but I just never really trusted them, I guess. So being a dad, and that being kind of if I'm risk averse, I'm sure other dads are too. So I kind of just went to a Facebook group that I was in. It was a common interest, just general dads group, where people just post dad stuff and stuff about being a dad, whatever. So I made a post, and I was any other, dads in here, learn how to trade, know how to do this, looking for some. So I made a post in this group, and I was just anybody else know how to trade? Are there resources out there that are reliable? And there weren't really a whole lot of suggestions, of reliable resources, but the post just blew up with all these other dads that wanted to learn as well. So obviously I was okay, well, there's enough people that are interested here. We're talking about it on this one comment thread. I was we're just blowing up this dad Facebook group. Let's, get off of it. We'll just start another little niche interest Facebook group. And, again, just a, little common interest thing. I'm thinking, we'll just chat stocks. We'll, kind of find some, things to talk about, whatever. So I made this Facebook group, and I called it Stock Dads. I couldn't think of anything better. I was just that just sounds just get shot out there? uh, So yeah, I called it Stock Dads.
Yeah.
Couldn't really think of anything that was better. But it just kind of stuck. I mean, now it's obviously grown into a pretty cool brand. But like overnight, literally we had like I want to say 2,000 members had joined, and then like within the first week or two we had 5,000 and 10,000. We worked ourselves up to like we're at like 30,000 in just the Facebook group, and that is pretty much like we don't really use that anymore. Like we've moved on to all these other platforms.
Right.
But anyways, so. All of a sudden, I was flooded with thousands of people who, were interested in learning this stuff, wanted to go on the same journey that I was trying to go on. And because, like, a lot of these people didn't see my original post, of not knowing how to do this myself,
Right.
They joined this group and they're like, they see I'm the admin. So they're like, oh, how do you trade? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I couldn't tell you. I'm trying to learn that too. So I was getting asked this question constantly. So I was like, you know what? Like, we'll just, I don't know, I'll start a podcast or something, right? And I partnered with my former college roommate, he's my best friend. We started a podcast. We call it Stocks and Sandals, play on the dad pun, socks and sandals, corny stuff. Just like having fun, whatever. But we were basically we were gonna invite like professionals into the group or onto the podcast. And we were gonna talk to them about, ask them all the dumb questions that people wanted to ask but didn't really know like how to ask, or like were too shy to ask or anything. So we had a bunch of people on. We had a bunch of episodes. It was actually a pretty successful podcast. We had a lot of interest with that, and then it just kind of grew and grew and grew. But like that just came with me, having so much more time and stuff involved with it, that I was like starting to neglect my job, like my full-time job at that point. I still worked full-time.
Which was what?
I was in sports medicine, so I was an athletic trainer. Yep. So kind of took that over. I was like starting to neglect that. I was starting to be like a pretty, neglectful husband for a while. Like, I was like, all my time and energy was going into this, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm not giving my wife and kids as much attention as I'd like to. I'm not focusing on the job that actually pays me. This pays me nothing. And because it was so demanding from a time perspective, I still wasn't even really able to practice or learn how to trade.
Yeah,
because I was
gonna
like,
ask, were you trading?
like I actually never even got to benefit from that. So I was just like, this is, this just isn't going to work. I was like, it's just, I basically reached a fork in the road where I was like, I either need to stop doing this or find a way to like turn this into something that's like worth my time, because my time is valuable, So yeah, I mean, that's when I essentially started to think about how can I monetize this community. What was everybody was wanting to do was learn how to trade, what everybody was looking for, basically all these things that we wanted that didn't seem to really exist out there. Looking back now, there were a few out there that we didn't know about, but not much. We're one of the very early on like groups like this and stuff, but not the first. But we basically kind of built what we wanted to build for ourselves, and I essentially, because I didn't trade, I just really tapped into that network of all those people that I had interviewed in the podcast and all these professionals that did this for a living, or ran financial advising firms, or they were like looking for their own clients to help do certain things. And I was like, okay, well, I have like 30,000 people here that are hungry to learn. You have knowledge that they want. Let's pair these together, and you provide them value. I'm going to charge them for them coming into the group and getting that value, and then you get a really awesome lead funnel for your own business. So it's kind of a everybody wins type situation, and just kind of evolved from there.
Wow. So when did you actually start the Discord?
So the Facebook group started around or like mid 2020, and then the Discord group we launched, I want to say it was November 30th of 2020. So within 6 months probably of starting to the podcast to realizing I need to do this. It wasn't a crazy long process or anything. It was just, something we just kind of made happen and rolled with it.
And then at what point did you quit your job?
Oh gosh, no, only about a year ago.
Really?
So,
Oh, so you were running the Discord and still working?
yeah. So I probably, like, if I was a young single man with no wife and no children, I would have quit a long time ago. But like I said, I'm pretty risk averse, and my wife actually, about a month after the Discord launched, my wife like had her first seizure, and like she ended up being diagnosed with epilepsy, and like so we had this kind of looming, will she need like surgery, like what types of medical bills are going to come from this, like, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I just wasn't a place in my life where I could risk the stable income for this dream, even though it started and was doing well. You know what I mean? It was like I was always wondering, like, this could just end at any time. Like, this is so like niche. Like you look around and there's just nothing like this. It's not something like I don't know, like a car, you know, sales lot or something. Like they're everywhere. Like, you know that this can survive. Like, this type of business had really no precedent for me to base it on. Like, is there sustainability in this or whatever? So I just couldn't really bring myself to quit. But so after building it for about 2.5, 3 years, while still doing the full-time job and trying to be a good husband. So like I still was neglecting a lot of like parts and making sacrifices. Like, fortunately, like I had a lot of talks with my wife, and like, is this like, there were times when I wanted to quit, but she wouldn't let me. So like, she was motivating me to continue to push, even though like this was hard on our family in the beginning, because like, I think she saw like the bigger picture, and she saw how passionate I was about it, because I got just really excited about this like entrepreneurial spirit that I didn't really know that I had, I guess. And yeah, it took a while, but then it got to the point where about 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago now, I guess, where I was like, I'm losing money by working this full-time job, because the pay is really insignificant at this full-time job, but the time it takes away from me is so much, where I can now, all right, now it makes sense. Like, it's more risky to keep this job now. So I got to the point where I was like, I have to walk away from this and the stability, and just really, you know, own this. And just, that's when I went full-time with Stocked Ads, and businesses, you know, boomed from there. It's gotten even more exponential, obviously, because now I can actually focus on it. You know, like, all the things that were getting neglected no longer had to be neglected. So.
And how many members do you have now?
We have 20, like, it rained like right the last month or so, between 2,400 and 2,500 like premium members. All like, that's all paid members, monthly or annual subscriptions. It's all subscription based, so it's recurring revenue. We've got a lot of followers on socials, but those aren't, you know, all customers. But yeah, it's we are one of, if not the largest, like Discord from a total premium subscriber amount, I guess. There's some that have less, but they charge more, so they make a little, because there's like rankings on some of these sites and stuff that you can see. But yeah, we're doing well.
Wow. All started from a Facebook post.
One little Facebook post, just looking to learn something that I had no idea. And frankly, 4 years later, I still don't trade.
I was just going to ask, have you learned how to trade?
Nah, I still don't trade. And my community, I'm very transparent about this, like, because this is not like I faked my way, fake it till you make it type thing. This is like from day one, even on the podcast. You can go back and listen to the early episodes of my podcast. I ask some really dumb questions. I suggest some really dumb, like, when I'm talking to a pro and I'm like, so that means this, right? And they're like, nope, not even close. I'm like, cool. All right. So explain it again for our listeners, because they for sure don't get it. And I'm like, meanwhile, I have no clue what they're talking about. But yeah. I've been very transparent, you know, about I just don't trade, and because this business took off the way it did, I was going to learn to trade as a form of side income and like a way to supplement my you know, regular income, so I can invest more. Well, I mean, business is a great way to do that as well. You know, like, there's a lot of different ways to make more income, you know, and the business just took off to where it was like learning, you know, how to trade kind of became just secondary. Now, I mean, being around it for, you know, 4 years, and, you know, hiring all these people and like going through the vetting process and working with these professionals, I've learned all the lingo. Like, I can definitely like talk about it, and, you know, but I still don't actively trade. I don't know if I'd do well or not. I just haven't really found the time. I just keep, plugging away on the business, and that in that way, that's my form of investing. And instead of buying a stock, I'm buying my own stock, I guess. So. And
in all this time, with you being that transparent, has anybody ever called you out on it and said, "Oh, I don't want to be a part of this because you don't know how to trade"?
Yeah. So we definitely have had some haters on socials, but like, my community knows, and they prefer that I don't trade, because I've actually asked them. I've polled my group before. Like, I'm like, hey, like, would you guys rather me like kind of take a step back from building and growing this resource for you guys to learn how to trade, and maybe I can someday be good enough to share some ideas with you guys, or would you rather me continue to just put all my time and effort into building this resource and finding you guys the best of the best? And they are like almost unanimously like, if you stop building this business to learn how to trade, like, I'm gonna cut you off at the knees. Like, they don't want me to trade because then I can't keep building this resource that they all have grown to love. So we do get some haters on socials, but then our little piranha members will usually put him in their place and like say, we know he doesn't trade and we prefer it that way. So.
But that's what's so profound and beautiful about you, is because most people are so stuck in this belief that they can't do something unless they're an expert at it. Most people wouldn't do what you do unless they felt like, oh, I could show that I made $20 million in trading. I don't know if that's a good amount in trading.
It's a lot. Yeah, I mean, if they're making that much, like, hey, come work for Stock Dads.
I don't know how to trade, but you have broken that and shown, you know what? I can be transparent. I can kick ass at it, and I don't know much about it at all. And that's what's so awesome, because so many people are so stuck because they don't realize you don't have to be. You're good at what you do. You're good at building this business. Yeah, I mean,
I was an athletic trainer before this. I wasn't even like, I did go, like, I was in the process of getting my MBA online when I started this, but that was strictly because I wanted to grow on the corporate ladder at my athletic training job, because I didn't want to practice athletic training anymore. I wanted to get into like management. And like, looking back on it, I feel like I knew that I had this like entrepreneurial, like business, like fire inside of me, but I just had never really done anything with it, never explored it. Like, and I think that subliminally, that was maybe why I was going to get my MBA, but I just never really explored it, right? Because I was safe, I was just always, just riding the safe and steady, and just kind of seeing what comes my way, and we're good, no risk, all that kind of stuff. But starting this has been very like eye-opening. Like, now I'm looking at like all these different things that I had known nothing about, and I'm like, how can I turn this into a business? I can turn that into, like, because there's really no, especially with like a lot of the tools and stuff that's available now for entrepreneurs, and like the education and the coaches and stuff. I don't know, like, some coaches and stuff get a bad rap, or like the courses and stuff like that. And there's definitely some bad eggs that just like, sell you garbage. There's no value to it. And then they'll take your money and, whatever, but like, there's a lot of good coaches, a lot of good education tools, resources, like WAP, it's a company that we use for like almost all of our business practices. And like, I'm not affiliated with them, they don't pay me anything, but like, they make business just so easy that it's like, how do you not start a recurring revenue business? You know what I mean? So like, with all the stuff available to people now, really the only limitation is like your imagination, your ability to like have an idea. But even if you have the idea, you gotta bet on yourself every once in a while and just try it out. And some of the stuff, like, this cost me like hardly anything with startup fees. There was like the only risk to starting this business was my time, which is very valuable, of course, right? I mean, and especially, like parents and stuff, like you have to make smart decisions with your time. But I mean, this is not like I didn't need, thousands and thousands of dollars. Would it have helped? Sure. You know what I mean? But like, I didn't need all that stuff to get started. I just needed an idea, some motivation, and, just the gusto, I guess, to go do it. So, and now it's thriving.
What it is. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure if, 4 years ago, you never would have imagined it would be this today.
Oh, no. No. I like when I first started, my big dream was, well, maybe we'll get this podcast sponsored someday. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that maybe like, we'll do this podcast and maybe make a couple $100 to throw a commercial on it or something. Sure. I was like, that was all right, this will be the pinnacle of what we can achieve with this, and now, looking back, and we do, 6 figures monthly, crazy amounts in revenue, and I've got an amazing team now. So like, rather than me in the beginning where I was doing pretty much everything myself from like a business perspective, obviously, like I said, I had that team of professionals that came in and added the value and stuff like that. But like, I had no team for setting up the business, setting up the, the back end, the bookkeeping, the payment process. And like, I built all that stuff, and I was just learning stuff as I went. I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. It was just as trial and error and figuring things out and building a community of loyal people who were patient with me while I figured it out. Like, they knew like that this could be something cool, but they went through a lot of those growing pains with me, and they're like, oh gosh, like that. Okay, maybe we don't try that one again, DJ. Let's try something else, But I learned all this stuff kind of on the go, and I was doing it all, and I was working crazy hours, and then it started to become like, man, I mean, is the money even worth it now? But I eventually got to the point where I started to learn how to hire and delegate. And now, I've got a team of full-time staffers. I've got part-time staffers. I've got contractors all over the place doing things. And now it's like, I don't really, like, if I don't want to work a day, I don't have to. I've essentially built total like freedom for myself. And I do work a lot still because I don't like to sit still. And I'm very much like, if your business is still, it's dying. You know what I mean? So we keep things moving, but I'm not alone, and I've got, amazing staff that helps with things, and I can breathe and, go play pickleball in the morning and come hang out on a podcast with you and stuff like that. So
I think it's just awesome. I'm in awe of you. I really am.
Well,
I know you're way younger than me, but you're my idol. I want to be you when I grow up.
Well, thank you. I want to be you when I grow up.
No. You're way more exciting. And so I am curious, you've built this incredible community. What are your plans for Stock Dads? I mean, do you have dreams of growing it more? What do you want to do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm a big dreamer. I think big. Now that I know what's possible, like, again, like my big dreams used to be so small until I realized, like, holy crap, like this stuff can like happen. And honestly, for anybody, like if I can do this, anybody can do it. But yeah, now I dream big. Me and I flew our whole team, because we all work remotely. I've got people all over the country and stuff, but like once a year we get together in person and we do like a strategic planning summit for a week. We like sit and plan out, do all our, the business stuff. We do the OKRs and the SWOT analysis and like all this kind of stuff. And yeah, we've got a full like written 5-year vision, and like we know exactly where we want to go now. We like literally hunkered down for a week, like earlier this year, and like just basically like we're not leaving this room until like we know exactly where we want to be in 5 years. Obviously, it's a roadmap, and it's going to evolve, and how you get there changes. But yeah, we've got big plans for the future. We want to do a lot of innovative things that haven't been done in this space, and things that will add a lot of value to our customers. And because that really, at the end of the day, is why I am able to have this type of community, and why I'm able to own a huge trading company without trading myself, is because, one, because I've been transparent. I never tried to fake anything. But two, because everything that I do, like everything that we do as a team, focuses on adding more value to our customers. So our customers never mind, right? Like, because we're adding so much value that it's, to them, it's like, it's a no-brainer to be a part of this. You know what I mean? Not everybody, it doesn't work for everybody, like there's not, like trading is not for everybody. Our resources aren't for, it's still, you have to find the right fit. But if you focus on building something that just has extreme value, and you use networking skills and just like being a good, like decent honest human being, like you can get really far, like just by, existing really. And it's something that I watch you do every day too. I talk all the time about how you're like the nicest person I've ever met. You know what I mean? You're incredible as well. And you have built this crazy empire, and you've got, you are my idol. So
Oh, no.
I look up to you every day, and it's always fun to interact and
But
stuff.
what's interesting, I will tell you what you and I have in common, although you did much more than me. I'm always transparent. Like, I have no financial background. Like, the fact that people come to me for financial advice blows me away still. I don't have financial, but not just that. I didn't even graduate college. I quit after a semester.
You don't have to.
You don't
these
have
days,
to. And it doesn't make me stupid. It was, for me, I was going to college and I found no point. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was like, why am I going in debt and doing this? I'm surrounded by all these people that are just getting drunk every night. I don't want to do that. So I quit. I just started working my tail off, and
that's all
it works.
That's all it comes down to. In the end, like, you just have to, like, there's the only people that are limited are the ones that limit themselves.
Correct.
I mean, like, you have to understand, like, yes, some people go through like bigger challenges or obstacles and stuff like that. Everybody's got their own, we all have our own book, and our chapters look different, all that kind of stuff. But like, you write your own story, and you make the decision on whether or not like this obstacle is going to stop you, or whether or not, okay, well, I don't have a certain degree, so I guess I can't do anything in that. No, so I mean, I'm not going to go be a doctor tomorrow just because I want to. And like, obviously there's certain things you have to have like a certain background in. But if we're talking like business, if you can learn business, like I learned virtually nothing from my MBA program. And I got the letters. Like, so honestly, I got it because I wanted those letters as a safety net. Cause I told, like that was my thing, was like, I'm just want to be so like, my resume is so stacked with all these letters and stuff. Like, no matter what happens, like I can, if I get fired from this job or like COVID shuts down this company, I can go work somewhere else, Well, the funniest thing part is I've got all these letters behind my name, and I don't use a single one of them anymore. And I'm a certified ergonomic assessment specialist, certified medical management and safety specialist, a certified athletic trainer. I have a master's in athletic training and an MBA. So I have 2 master's degrees. So I've got a whole lot of debt and about 10 years of schooling that I don't use any of it. So it's like, for people who are like, I'm the opposite of you. I went to so much school, like nobody can tell me I'm not credentialed, but like I don't use any of it for what I'm doing now. So it's, you don't have to be, you don't have to fit in a box. You don't have to be like a certain type of person. You don't have to be like, you just have to believe in yourself, have an idea, and the work ethic to learn and figure stuff out, And there's just so many resources available for that now.
Absolutely. So I'm curious, because a lot of people that listen to my podcast, or at least I hope that do, that a lot of them are entrepreneurs, and I'm sure some are interested in stock trading, and probably a lot of them aren't experts, and probably like me, they're intimidated by it. So joining Stock Dads, is it just for experts, or could somebody brand new get in there and feel welcome?
No, so it actually started being for total newbies, where it was like very much like introductory education. Like I had professionals come in and build out like a full library of like, basically stock market 101, trading 101, like all the things that you need to know, taking all the stuff that's like available for free on YouTube, right? But it's like drinking through a fire hose, and you have thousands of videos to choose from. You don't know whatever. And we basically, funneled that down. And it started very introductory, right? That's what we built it for, because we had all these dads who didn't know what they were doing. So we built it that way to begin with. And then as we've grown and evolved, and as now we've been around for 4 years, and our education and stuff has worked for a lot of people, and like all these are expert, like we've got a ton of traders that are like really like awesome traders that are just members now. So we've kind of evolved now to where now we're catering to the other side as well. Not more so than the other, but now where it's like, you don't have to be brand new to like, you're not gonna, if you're seasoned, you're gonna come in here and be bored, no. We've got some of the best traders that I've been able to find, and I've had, again, these guys are vetted, they're proven profitable, like we see their statements, we see like everything. So we don't just bring in anybody, but now they're so good that like even some like really good traders that are out there like will pay just to come trade with these better traders, you know. So now it's this like, it's just kind of just like growing and thriving community that just kind of feeds itself. And as these great traders come in and learn, they get better. And we're also educating, you know, newer traders that don't know, and they're learning and getting better. So then they become the good trader. Now we've just kind of this big cycle. And I'm sitting over here watching. I'm like, oh, I wish I could learn how to do that. Yeah.
But you're building this giant empire.
It's just, yeah, it's like, so investing in like growing wealth looks different for everybody. Some people want to be heavy into stocks and like long-term investment. Then you got the traders who want to try and make, you know, bigger profits in shorter amounts of time, but it's more volatile. Then you've got people who invest in real estate heavy. You got people who invest in businesses, you know, who do all sorts of different things. You know, you need to be diversified. You know what I mean? For me, like just the way my life path trajectory went, it just became to where like the business is where I need to put my time and energy because it's the best ROI. I still like, again, I still love getting in and like learning and kind of whatever, but I'm just not going to, you know, sit down for 2 hours in the morning and watch charts and trade when I can, you know, go work on our business, something over here that's going to give me a lot more of a return than this. So that's just kind of how my path went, but everybody's is different, you know, so it's just, it doesn't matter. That's the beauty of it.
It doesn't. And now that you've mastered how to be successful with Discord, I know you're kind of branching into potentially teaching other people how to create this same empire, obviously with different industries. So.
Yeah. So I'm like, because like I said, I have a team now that's taken a lot of the, you know, the day-to-day stuff off. I get to focus on the big picture. And one thing I do like doing is like just talking about it. Like every time I annoy a lot of our friends and stuff, because like if they start talking to me about like business or something, like I just like, they like flip a switch on me, and all of a sudden I'm like it's like I just drank a monster, and I'm like, all right, let's talk strategy. Like, I mean, this is what I do. What do you do? Like, and I'm like, so I've just realized that I really enjoy like talking about what is now my passion, which is building brands, building businesses. I mean, I've only built Stock Dads, and I've had another failed business, which was a brick and mortar, you know, whatever, selfie world, But yeah, I want to start like I guess my theory, and we're gonna see if it plays out or not, is that like because I don't trade and built this great trading business, nothing that I have done from day one until now feels like it's because I'm special in any way. It feels like anybody can just kind of replicate these blueprints, I guess, for lack of a better word, and replicate this if they have an idea, a concept that is based around some sort of ongoing service or community or whatever. So like for yours, for example, right, you've got this, you know, thriving community on socials, you've got all these business networking partners and stuff like that. So like having something where you can sell access to these experts and what they do and what they bring to the table, and then supporting business owners and having a instead of a thriving community of traders, you got a thriving, you know, community of entrepreneurs and business owners and stuff that can, you know, achieve what they're going after. And it can apply like you would train, we have the same personal trainer, Zach, and you know, like he's really big into strongman and like you know, training for, he used to be powerlifting, but now it's like strongman. So like he's very passionate about it, and I spend enough time with him all week, every week, getting abused by him. So I was like, hey, maybe we should just like also work on a little business while we're here. So I'm going to be helping him with, you know, some of that as well.
I hear about it a lot, and it really comes up when I'm pushing the sled. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Perfect. Well, you got to start strategically talking to him right before you're supposed to start your set. because then you get to you buy yourself at least 3 or 4 more minutes.
Learned that.
Yeah,
I do that.
Yeah, so I don't talk at all during my normal rest period, and then as soon as I'm supposed to go again, I bring something up and we start going, and I buy myself at least 5 minutes a time. So I have
learned that strategy.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
I
good.
know. And I don't think he catches on because he'll totally engage and he'll go on and on. And
I don't think he's caught on it with you yet. He's definitely caught. I've abused
okay.
it too much. I'm pretty obvious about it now. He's like, shut up and talk to me after. and then as soon as I'm done with my set, he wants to talk to me. I'm like, no, I'm like,
yeah,
I don't want to talk anymore.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to talk before. Now I can't breathe. So, but no. So we're gonna build a community for strongman and stuff. So
brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's just really seems pretty endless, and I feel like I've got this like these years of experience that I put in and all the mistakes that I made and the good choices that I made, and like I was like, if I can just share that with people and give even one person what I've been able to achieve for myself, I was like, that's a win for me. And obviously, I mean, it's another potential side income, coaching and or whatever, but it's honestly it's given me another kind of renewed like excitement and purpose to because I'm taking more of a backseat with Stock Dads. I'm still in it actively, but I'm not doing everything. So I like the beginning stages of it, of a business too, where you're building. We were talking about this before we started recording, like building a brand, like is one of my favorite things, just like coming up with the concept, the name, the logo, all that kind of stuff is just, it's fun. And, it's exciting to see this stuff kind of blossom and bloom. And I was like, oh, I'd like to be part of some other people's stories now. So.
And now you get to.
Yeah.
And that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look
I'm
at
excited.
You now.
I know. It's weird. It's weird. I still don't believe it. We talk all the time. Like I get the imposter syndrome constantly. And I know you said you can relate, and it's just, you're like, how did this happen? And, but it happened. So
I know. And it's amazing. So I'm curious, what would you say is your favorite thing about what you do?
Well, I guess there's probably, I'll answer that 2 different ways. I'll answer like my favorite part of the business part, and the favorite, like what it's done for me personally. Yeah. So, for the business, like I love constantly like looking for, I guess I've turned into kind of this, creative, like puzzle solver type person, where it's like we hit a block in the road or something, or we like something's not working right, and like coming up, like I really enjoy working through like finding new ways to do things that are gonna achieve something different and add more value for our customers. At the end of the day, like it's awesome seeing like this huge community using what me and my team have built and getting all this value out of it. And it's like you watch this, like it's like when you watch your kids grow up, like all the stuff that you taught and instilled in them, and you get to actually watch them like become little humans with like these crazy personalities. And it's kind of like like our group jokingly calls me Dad, or like anytime I jump in the chat, Dad's here, or whatever. But I kind of feel like in a way like this is my baby. This business and this community is my baby, and kind of watching it grow and thrive has been really cool. So I'd say that's probably my favorite business part. And then obviously I think it's probably obvious, but for the personal stuff is just being able to be more present, for now that I've finally worked my way out of doing everything alone. And I'm still busy, but I can be more present for my wife and kids. I was able to get us to the point where financially, like my wife was able to, leave her job and become a stay-at-home mom, which was partially because the job that she got when she moved down here, she wasn't super crazy about. She loved her old job, and we moved down here and it wasn't the same, but also partially because of the stress and stuff like that for her health. But having that freedom and now being able to provide that and being able to experience more with less, financial strain, or, like it's just kind of cool to be able to have that freedom and show my kids like what it can look like when you chase your dreams and stuff. And I was actually talking to Jenna about this the other day, and like I feel like I did a good job of showing them what a good hard work ethic looks like before with my old job, and same with Jenna, like my wife. Like we didn't have to have this super huge business and like all this money to be successful, right? And like to teach our kids what that hard work looks like didn't come because that's not because of the results of Stock Dads. I mean, Stock Dads like provides us with a lifestyle that we love and we enjoy, and I don't want to lose it, obviously, but like that's not where I found like I don't want that to be how I define my success. You know what I mean? It's not and that's not what made me feel proud to demonstrate for my kids. Like, because I was thinking about this, I was like, I didn't have to do this. Like we did a good job before. Like you work hard. You don't have to. There are a lot of moms and dads who work their 10 times harder. They don't have to make the same amount of money. They are doing an amazing job, right? I think too many people like tie their success or like, when they can be proud of themselves is like to a dollar amount or something. And I hate that because like I feel like for a long time I believed that myself. Like, my salary was, fine. It wasn't anything to write home about. And then like all of a sudden we started making more money and I started being like, yeah, like I'm the man, like I'm providing for my family or whatever. And I just like, I went through a period of time where like I got really materialistic and like money was like, I was new to this whole world of being able to afford like all sorts of things. And like, that was honestly a darker place than I had been when we didn't have money. So I just like one thing that I would just, want my kids to learn as they grow up is that don't tie your self-worth to how much money you make. Tie it to like your integrity, tie it to how you are with other people, how caring you are, if you're compassionate for others, if you help people, if you, prioritize people and others over what you can buy and do for yourself, like, then that's success. And I think that that's been something that, I think I've been doing a lot better of. And now I'm at a point where I'm very proud of that, where I wasn't for a while. So, but yeah.
Now you're very successful at doing that.
Yes. So I feel now that I can call myself successful because I'm teaching my kids that part and not the strive for more money all the time thing. So
good for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's lost in a lot of people.
For sure.
And I've met your kids. They're awesome kids. So you're doing a good job.
Well, thank you.
They're amazing. DJ, for people trying to find you guys, where would they go on socials, or how would they find Stock Dads?
Yeah. So we're pretty much on most platforms.
Okay.
At Stock Dads. Pretty easy. On most of them. We're most active on Instagram. Yeah, Facebook group is Stock Dads still there.
You still have it.
Yeah, we still have it. It's just not it's just not as active anymore because most of we almost killed the group ourselves in a way because most of our like really active members are now in the Discord. And because they hate Facebook in general, they don't want to be on it, so they're in our Discord. Yeah. So like our Discord's crazy active but like our Facebook kind of died because all the people that were constantly posting in there are gone. So I was kind of like it's there. We still use it. I mean we're kind of all over the place, but and you guys can follow me on X, I guess is what it's called now, Twitter, and it's at DJ Brown Biz, and that's gonna be my like little coaching side quest. Okay. So I'm gonna do my little side missions and see if I can get some clients and help them build some stuff. And but yeah, that'll be how I do it when I can muster up the courage to post. And I'm just not a I don't like to be social media forward facing stuff, so anything that's like based around my brand is probably just gonna chill for a while. Anybody I can hire like really good social talent and stuff, that'll be what they do. But so that's where you can find us.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I just want to thank you. This was, I mean, I could keep going for a lot longer, but I know you've got kids to get home too.
Sure.
But are amazing, and I
Well,
know
thank you.
you don't always believe it, but what you have accomplished is just incredible. And
Thank you.
in my day to day, I talk to a lot of business owners, huge business owners, multi-million dollar business owners. You surpass them all. You really do. You've accomplished incredible things, and you've maintained just being a really good human being. And I feel honored to be in your presence, and I learn from you every time. And it's just really remarkable to watch you. And I know I'm going to be able to say, I knew him when, because in 5 years from now, you're going to have all these other things going too. You're
Yeah.
going to be, I mean, there's no stopping you, and it's awesome. And
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm older, so I can say I'm super proud of you. Like
Well,
your mom.
You
But
are
it's awesome.
you are equally as
No,
inspiring.
no,
Yes,
this
you
is-
are.
Don't turn it back. You're doing
I
what I
have-
do. I do that. I can't take praise, so I
Well-
turn it back. This
Well,
is
thank
you.
you. Thank
You
you.
are just doing an amazing job, and it's just really inspiring to see. And as we wrap up today's episode with you, it's just very clear that the journey of entrepreneurship is as much about passion and perseverance as it is about expertise. You have clearly demonstrated that. And your story with Stock Dads reminds us all that with the right mindset and a commitment to continuous learning, anyone can turn a vision into a thriving community. So thank you, DJ, for sharing your insights and inspiring so many to step out of their comfort zones and lead with curiosity and courage. And to our listeners, remember that the path to success is rarely a straight line. It's filled with challenges and learning opportunities that shape us into the leaders we are meant to become. Keep pushing boundaries, keep learning, and most importantly, keep believing in the power of community and collaboration. And until next time, stay inspired and never hesitate to pursue your entrepreneurial dreams, no matter where you're starting from. Thank you for joining us on Business Perfect Formula. We look forward to bringing you more stories of innovation and success that motivate and guide you on your business journey.